Very good afternoon to all of you. We are into the third block of our particular course, that is Management Control System. In third block, we are looking at some of the aspects of management control process. Uh, how to exert control over the management. That is what we are trying to assess in this particular block. And today, in this particular unit, that is unit 11, we shall look at the reward and compensation part, which everyone or almost all of us are associated with the management control process in form of reward and compensation. Now, before starting anything, uh, I will discuss some of the aspects regarding reward and compensation. Now let us look at a person working in a regular job from suppose say 9 to 6. When the person is working in the regular job, he or she is spending time doing the activities that are assigned to him or her by the organization, or for which the person has been recruited, and this goes on continuously. Now, in order to spend this time to work for the organization pays some kind of remuneration or salary, or we can say compensation, because we are spending our time for the organization's work. So we have to be compensated for that, and which usually is in monetary terms. Apart from compensation, when we are working in the organization, we look at if we are looking from the organizational point of view, how the person is working. Is he working according to the requirement? Is the person lagging behind? Or is the person doing better than what is expected out of the person? Now, three things are coming out. If the person is working as per the requirements, then yes, the person is doing his or her work. Another situation may arise, the person is lagging behind in the work for which he or she has been assigned in the organization. That means the person is not up to the mark. There may be some kind of punishment. We will see in the unit, there may be, because nobody wants punishment at a stage when somebody is working in the organization. Apart from that, if the person is working better than whatever is required, that means we can say the person's productivity is better, or the person's achievement towards the organization's requirement is better, for which the person is rewarded either in monetary form or in non-monetary form. So every worker in the organization looks forward for a kind of reward situation. So in today's discussion in unit 11, we shall look at the reward and compensation and how it goes on for management control process. Now let us see what we understand by the term reward. Now, when an employee has been recruited in the organization, apart from the salary, apart from the compensation, the employee always looks out for what are the rewards or incentives that will be available if he or she outperforms the set targets or works in a better way. That means it is reward is anything that attracts an employee's attention. Now, why rewards or incentives are given to the employees? Now, the reason is very simple. It stimulates the employee to work better. As we discussed just now, everybody loves to have certain rewards or incentives, and that will only be available if the employee performs in a better way. That means achieves target or achieves certain kind of output that is well and above the set standards. We can also say reward or incentives are the plans or programs to motivate individual or group performance. Uh, Many of us might be working in, you may say, marketing job or sales job. There will be finding if we achieve certain slabs of targets, we will be eligible for the reward associated with that particular slab, or we will be getting incentives according to the slab that we have achieved. Similarly, those who are working in the production level or the production side, they may be rewarded for working or producing more output in a given period of time as per the required number of outputs. In other words, their productivity is higher. Now, this rewards will comprise of both monetary and non-monetary rewards, as we will see later on. Now, regarding the rewards or incentives, the employees should be properly communicated. That means they should be well informed regarding the targets, regarding the slabs, regarding the rewards or incentives that they're going to achieve if they attain certain slabs or targets. They should be very clear to the employees. Now, here we are talking from the organizational point of view. Somebody may ask that, am I compensated if I am doing business? Am I rewarded if I am doing business? The answer is yes. If you are doing business, you are spending time in your business for which you get certain kind of extra income apart from your expenses. So in every particular time period, the excess amount generated will be your compensation. Now, the more you work, the harder you work, the better the results of the business will come out. And your reward levels will come in the form of abnormal extra profits. That means the profit levels will be very, very high. We have seen many examples. Suppose one example is a person starts with three employees and has one truck. He starts the logistics business and he focuses on the particular business, takes care of the employees, care of the delivery for the clients, sees that the delivery are on time. So what happens when the employees as well as the clients are happy, then the person starts getting repeated orders. That means the volume of business starts to grow. Once the volume grows, the person may go for extra number of trucks, either by financing or from the profits that has been achieved in the earlier periods. The person or the businessman will be hiring more persons or employees to run the affairs. And day by day, if the focus is what that was there in the beginning, then definitely the business will grow into a big enterprise. Many examples are there when people have started from scratch and have become very big enterprises. So, compensation and rewards are always attached with the requirement of a person, be it in employment, be it in business. Now, we are talking of the word compensation. We are spending our time in the organization. Just now we discussed. For that, we have to be compensated. Now, every employee wants good compensation plans. In other words, the compensation or the salaries that the organization will be giving, if it is higher, then the employee will be happy. It should be internally equitable. That means if I am working in a certain position at a certain experience level and another person is also working at the same position with same experience, then the amount of compensation should be same, so that there will be no mistrust among the employees or between the employer and the employee. Everyone will feel that according to their position, their experience, or their skill set, they are getting equitable compensation. Also, we say that it should be externally competitive. We know that suppose I am working in an organization, there may be lots of similar organizations apart from the organization where I am working. I would always look forward that my organization compensates me, which is comparable with other organization for the same kind of job. Or if it is higher than other organizations, then the better it is. Because always this competition of compensation will induce the employees to jump from companies to company. Higher is the compensation package, the more lucrative it is for the employees. Now here we should pay the employees on the basis of performance. Once recruited, the employee should not be lethargic. That means the employee should not feel that I have got the recruitment, there is nothing further to do, only to sit in the organization. No. You have to perform for which you have been recruited, so that the payment will be coming. This payment can both be in monetary as well as non-monetary forms. Some examples of non-monetary form of compensation we can say is uh, the housing colony, medical facilities for the family, educational facility for children, apart from the salary part which is monetary or transferred to the bank account. So compensation can comprise of both monetary as well as non-monetary forms. Now, what compensation helps the organization? Compensation helps to attract, retain, and behavior of the employees. If an organization's compensation plan is good or better as compared to other similar organization, then definitely one employee will choose our organization because of the better compensation plan. Similarly, persons working in the organization, if they are getting good compensation for their works, they will never feel that I should leave the organization and go to another organization. Apart from that, employees, because of good compensation, they will definitely be well behaved inside the organization or for the organization, because a compensation plan which is, we can say, below standard may bring out some kind of disgust in the behavior of the employees. Now this compensation and rewards, what it tries to achieve. That means what are the objectives of compensation and rewards. Let us see that. First is, it accomplishes labor market function. We can say that the forces of demand and supply is always there in the marketplace. In the marketplace, laborers of different categories, we can say, suppose very good, normal, and below normal laborers are available. Similarly, the compensation and reward packages in an organization can be very high, average, or below average. So definitely there will be pull from the compensation and reward plans which is above average for the good employees. That means the demand of the good things should always be towards the good compensation and rewards plan. That is the basic thing or objective as required by the labor market. Every labor or the worker or the employee, we can say, wants better compensation and rewards as per their skill set. So that is achieved by the compensation and rewards plan of the organization. This also helps to control the wages. Organizations always do not compete among themselves to increase the compensation and rewards plans so that employees will be jumping every now and then to another company. What will happen? That will bring about the poor performance of the organization as a whole. They try to have a certain industry standard. So what happens? The industry standards will fix or will try to fix the amount of wages that will be payable to an employee for a given set of skills. Now, this compensation and rewards satisfies or helps to maintain the satisfaction of the employees. We spend our time in the organization if we are working as an employee, for which definitely we should be compensated, and also for our performance or on the basis of our performance during a given period of time, we will be requiring rewards or incentives. If those things we are getting, then we as employee will be satisfied. Another thing is, we know that rewards and incentives will only come if an employee achieves certain set standards or set slab of performance. So employees will strive to achieve not only the basic requirement for which he or she has been recruited, but to go beyond that in terms of above average performance in order to get higher rewards or get better compensation. That means compensation and rewards induces motivation in the minds of the employees. So they act as an effective motivator. Now, what are the characteristics of this compensation and rewards? Now let us see. When we are talking of total compensation plans, first of all, we talk of the basic salary or the predetermined salary with regular increments. Now, what happens when we join an organization? We start with a salary, which is at the bottom of the salary scale for a given position. Every passing period, which is usually annually it is done or every year it is done, an increment or increase in the salary is given to the employee. Now these increments can either be fixed or it can be also be based on performance of the employees in the past period. Apart from that, employees are given health cover. Health cover not only for them, for their family also. In case of medical emergencies, this health cover will help the employees to tide over the financial needs that will be required either for hospitalization or for medication, etc. Another aspect is an employee can work up till certain age. Usually in many of the organization or most of the organizations, we can say 60 years is the average age of retirement. That means after 60 years, the employee has to leave the job. Now, after the employee gets retirement, immediately the salary or the compensation plan stops, the reward stops. So it may bring about a certain kind of disaster in the employee's requirement, mindset, or the income part. Now, in order to meet the requirements, monetary requirements or income requirements after retirement, employees are given some proportion of their existing salary which they were getting during their working years, called as pension. Now, for these pension plans, some portion of the employee's salary, very minimal amount, along with the employer's contribution, is put in a certain account, and after the retirement of the employee gets a regular income as per the retirement plan or the pension plan till their existence. So this will help them not to worry about the future years or the years after retirement. Every human being needs a break from the monotony of the regular work. Be it in an organization, that means production organization, be it business house of their own. This, in order to break the monotony, what people do, they go on regular holidays. That means during a particular period of time, after passing a particular period of time, somebody may say a year or every 2 years, the person may go on a holiday. They go to some places worth visiting, stay there, and spend around a week, 10 days, whatever is allowed, and they get back. That helps to freshen up the mind, the body, the soul of the employee. The employee feels the chill back again in order to work at the pace which they were doing sometimes back. Because in monotonous work, we become lethargic after a continuous period. In order to break that, we need regular holiday. Many organizations or most organizations provide holiday schemes. Maybe every year or maybe every second year, they will provide the employee and their family to a place for spending their vacation. Another is incentive compensation schemes. Now, when we are talking of compensation scheme, the incentives, it can be short term based or long term based. When it is short term based, we can say that every quarter, semi annually, annually also. What is the performance of the employee? Based on that, they are given incentives. Apart from that, when an employee continues to work in the organization over a long period of time, apart from the short term incentive, they are also given long term incentives for adhering to the company, working with the company, and staying with the company in its growth. Now, the rewards that come, they can come in two forms. One is positive rewards, another one is negative rewards. We said an employee is recruited for performing a certain standard of performance. Now here two kind of things can happen. Either the employee is performing above the average performance required or performing below the performance required on an average. So if the employee is performing above the average, then he is positively or she is positively rewarded. Similar is the situation when we think of the other way around. The negative rewards. Now, we're talking about positive rewards. Positive rewards, we can say bonus or higher amount of bonus, we can say. We can say also uh, promotions, big quarters, perquisites, vehicle allowance, club memberships, vacations to outside the country, etc. etc. Many kind of positive rewards can come to the employees. When we talk of the negative performance of the employee, we can say here, apart from not getting the incentives or the rewards, there may be demotion. That means the employee will be demoted or sent downwards in the ladder of the succession. That means instead of moving towards higher position, the employee will move towards lower position. There can also be salary cuts, and ultimately the most negative reward we can say is asking the employee to leave the organization. So every employee never wants negative rewards. Always we go for positive rewards. Now, what are the short-term incentive plans that are adopted by the organizations? Let us see. One is the total bonus plan. What happens? The incentives are usually given out of the profit that is generated during a given period of time. Usually it is on an annual basis. Whatever is the annual profit, from that incentives are given to the employees. Now it is approved by the shareholders. It has to be approved by the shareholders because the profits of the organization belongs to the shareholders. They are the owners of that. So they have to approve it, thinking in the sense that it is the employees of the organization that have helped to generate the kind of profit they are going to get or they are getting. So shareholders have to approve that. How much of the profit will go to the employees as incentives. So they make a bonus pool. That means out of the profit, a bulk amount they set aside as a incentive pool or bonus pool. How this amount can be done? One is as a percentage of profit. Suppose the profit for this year is 10 crores. The shareholders approve that the bonus should be 10% of the profits. That means 1 crore rupees would be set aside out of the total 10 crore profit to be distributed as bonus or incentives to the employees. It can also be calculated as a percentage of profit before interest and tax and capital charges. When we say capital charges, that means it is the equity holders requirement. That means the amount that should be paid for the retained earnings. Another way is on the basis of last year performance. Incentives are given on the basis of last year, how they have performed. Sometimes shareholders, what they do, they compare the performance of their organization with another organization of similar kind. So this relative performance help the shareholders to assess how their organization is performing. So on that basis, the bonus plan is set. Another way of short-term incentive plans is carryovers. Uh, what happens? Shareholders, they will try to say that if 1 crore is the amount for the bonus that is to be given to the employees this particular year, let us pay 50% of that to the employees. That means 50 lakh rupees. The remaining 50 lakhs, they will keep it to be paid in a certain future years. That means it carried over to a future period of time. That means instead of paying right away, the money could be utilized inside the organization or in the organization for certain kind of capital requirements like expansion, modernizations, or new product lines, etc. But that amount will be paid in the future years. So the bonus amount will help the organization in a way of financing its requirements. Or another way of somewhat carryover type we can say is deferred compensation. That means here organization usually pays some amount this year, some amount in the next year, some amount in the second next year, like this. They try to set a fixed proportion. Suppose for the next, this year they will pay, next year they will pay, the year after that, the second year hence, they will also pay. The current year they will pay 40%, next year it will be 30%. The second year hence, it is another 30% of the total bonus. So what happens? Every year, the employee will be getting 40% of the current year bonus, 30% of the previous year bonus, because it will be deferred. Already it will be deferred. And 30% of the 2 years back bonus amount. So by deferring this thing, employee will be feeling that yes, I am getting my bonus. Organization, it is trying to tide over its financial requirements also. Now let us look at some of the long-term incentive plans that are available. One is stock option. Now instead of paying monetary bonus, what the organization will do? It will try to give the employees the right to purchase the stocks or the shares at a set price in a given future period of time or on a set date. What happens? If the organization is doing better, definitely the stock prices will be going upwards and upwards. In this way, the employee will feel that in the future year they can exercise their right option. That means they can purchase the stock at a lower price and they can sell it off at a higher price, thereby getting the bonus amount at a higher level. Another way is phantom shares. The word phantom reflects somewhat invisible or ghost, just for namesake, like this we can say. What happens? The organization on its record increases the number of shares and issues them to the shareholders in lieu of the bonus amount. Now, these shares are only for the namesake. What the employees can do at a certain future date, they will take their money for which they have been assigned certain phantom shares. So it is a gap arrangement, we can say. Another is stock appreciation rights. Employees will be given rights for any appreciation in the stock prices. So, in lieu of the incentives, the employees will be given, yes, you can take whatever is the increase in the stock prices on a later date. Similarly, the performance shares and performance units. That means the organization will look at what is the productivity of the organization during the last period. According to the increase in the productivity, some proportion will be set as the bonus and it will be given to the employees in the form of shares. Similarly, this can also be done on the basis of units of output. Suppose the company has set a target of the number of units that will be produced in a given year, but the employees, they produce more than that. That means their productivity is higher, their performance is better. They will be getting incentives for their performance. Now, what are the various organizational incentive plans that have been developed, have been used, or are in use? Some of the widely used plans are: first is Scanlon plan, which has been developed by Joseph N. Scanlon, who was a employee in the steel industry in the United States. It said that the distribution of earnings from increased productivity proportionately among all the individuals. That means the plan was based on the productivity. If the productivity is increasing, it means that the earnings will be affected. That means earnings will be increased. So whatever is the proportion increase in productivity, that will be distributed among the employees as incentives on a proportionate basis. That means according to the salaries that they are getting. The proportion basis is according to the salaries. So here, this helped the organizations to achieve higher productivity because the employees, they viewed it as if the productivity is increasing, the higher is the incentives they are going to get. Another is the Kaiser plan. Now here it tried to expand the horizon of the incentives. It said the equitable distribution of financial gains among employees, the stockholders, and the public. That means whatever are the financial gains that will occur due to the better performance of the employees, it is the employees will get a portion out of that as incentive. Not only they, but the stockholders as well as some proportion will also be given to the public because the organization is utilizing public resources to generate that kind of gains. Now, various kind of organizational incentives, we can say on the basis of profit sharing or group incentive plans. Now, when we are talking of profit sharing systems, we can say current profit sharing or deferred profit sharing or combination of both. When it is current profit sharing, the current year profit, a portion of that will be given as the incentive. But if the amount of incentive is not paid in the same year but on a later future year, then we call it as the deferred profit sharing system. Or we can also have a combination of both the things. Organizations also make the payment of profits or the profit share by cash or stock. The employees will be given an option. You can take cash or you can take the shares or the stocks of the company instead of taking the cash. If employees choose stock, then they will benefit due to capital appreciation in the future years. And if it is cash form they are taking, they can meet their immediate obligations. But widely it has been seen that employees take the stock option. Now, these organizational incentives, they encourage interest and cooperation among the employees because their focus is better is our performance, better is the incentive. Now the employees have a sense of partnership for having the incentives with the management. Organization also come up with many type of group incentive plans. Now, some of the group incentive plans we may take it as to the production department incentives may be given separately. Sales department incentives may be given separately. To the administration part, the incentive plan should be somewhat different. That means the organization will have certain groups and for them incentive plans will be undertaken. We have seen for employees the incentives, the rewards and compensation. Now what about the managers? Incentive for managers. Let us see what are the various type of incentives they are getting. One is in the form of financial rewards. Definitely the manager would always want to get financial benefits for their division doing better performance. This can come in the way of salary increments or increase, bonuses, benefits, and perquisites. Now, when we say perquisites, you can say that having household domestic helpers, car provided by the company, the electricity bill paid by the company, etc. That means apart from the salary and bonus, many other facilities are given to the manager in the form of perquisites. Similarly, psychological and social rewards are also given to managers for their performance. The first and the foremost is promotion. A better performing manager always is rewarded in terms of promoted or being promoted to a higher position. They may be given or they are given more autonomy and responsibility because through their performance they have proven that yes, we can do or get better results for the organization. The managers can have a better location of employment. That means suppose in a metro city, suppose in a state capital. So the location wise they will be having the upper hand, and also they will also be given recognition in the form of awards, in the form of delivering inspirational speeches to the boarding managers, etc. Now, when we talk of incentive for managers, they are based on certain financial criteria. Those criteria can be the contribution margin or the profit per unit or the income generated by the division for which the manager is responsible, or if it is an investment center, it is return on investment. That means how much is the return the company or the enterprise is getting from its investment. Now, these investments can be in two forms. It will be annual or in multi-year format. Similarly, managers are given incentives for non-financial criteria like sales, market share growth, customer satisfaction, quality improvement, etc. Now, what benefits this reward system give us? First is helps to get better employees, retains them. The tax liability is reduced. Hostile takeovers are avoided, and the company, due to higher profit, reduces its operating leverage. That means use of debt capital. So, in today's session, we have seen the rewards and compensation for both employees as well as managers, which form one of the important aspects of management control process. They help for better people to join the organization, to work in a better way in the organization, and the results in terms of output, in terms of profit, etc., for the organization is also better. So, all these things combinedly provides the management control process. So, with this, thank you.